Good morning, everybody, and a happy new year. I hope you had time to relax. Now, I'm going to show you some rather special charts today, and there's only one day of the year when it's really valid to look at these. And these are charts which use yearly candlesticks, i.e. each candlestick represents a whole calendar year. And the only valid day to look at these really is the 1st of January, unfortunately. But being a dutiful chartist, I did look at all my charts, and I've picked out 3 typical examples that you might want to look at. Now, most people are rabbiting on about the NASDAQ and what a fantastic performance it's had. Yes, NASDAQ was up 45% from January the 1st to the 2nd to December the 31st. But, you know, silver was up 46%. And Kynext was up 44%. So this business that the only game in town are technology stocks is incorrect. So I'm deliberately not going to show you a chart of the NASDAQ. Instead, I've looked at a secondary group, and probably the best example of this is Germany's DAX index, top shares in Germany. And you can see that in 2020, we had the biggest range this index has ever had by a long way. From low to high, it's up 69%, and absolutely terrifying. I mean, it's just unreal. It's quite surreal. In, you know, midst pandemic, midst worst recession since World War II, and then look at that. Anyway, the point here is that that candlestick is known as a hanging man. I've never seen such a big one as that, but it is a hanging man where you've got a tiny little head at the top of it and a very long dangly body. The point here is that it's still struggling at the highs that we reached last year, the year before that, and the year before that. So 4 consecutive years we've been struggling at that horizontal red line. Was also a classic example here of technical analysis is that what had been resistance, i.e. the highs of 2000, 2007, 2008 at the 8,000 level became support, not only in 2020, but also in 2014. And this whole thing, the whole thing that's been building since 2014, 2012 actually, is potentially a broadening top, a huge one, and really a very worrying and frightening rather chart pattern. Now my second chart is foreign exchange, and the dominant theme here has been US dollar weakness, and particularly some other currencies that have been especially weak, like the Turkish lira, the Russian ruble, and the Brazilian real. But those are a sideshow. The main theme is that, you know, it looks as if the pounds got stronger, looks as if the euros got stronger. Well, yes, they have, but it's because the US dollar has weakened against a vast array of currencies. Particularly, interestingly, the Israeli shekel is at its strongest against the US dollar in, I don't know, something like 15, 25 years, something like that. Quite extraordinary. Do have a look at those, at that one, and as a sort of sideline. Anyway, lowest close since 2013 on the dollar index, with a spike high against secular resistance. I think that's going to drift lower later this year. And my third and final chart is the futures price. It's a monthly chart of the soybeans in the United States, and it's dollars per bushel. And you can see how in the second half of 2020, prices soared from relatively subdued levels, not dirt cheap at all, but relatively subdued. Other oilseeds look the same, as do some grains. Now, this is very worrying indeed, because this is food. So I'm worried that food price inflation will pick up quite a bit in 2021. With that, I'll leave you with that thought. See you again next week.